Super League basketball is levelling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
It's into Diggins, back to Rideau. Rideau creates room, fires up the shot for the win! LaQuincy Rideau on the buzzer! Jack gets past Lindo, gets to the rim and lays it in. Big play. Chance to run, Diggins out in front, Diggins hammers it in! It's a three-point ball game!
Can't find anybody, Rich Clark has to shoot the three, and makes the three on the buzzer! Oh, great steal by Terrell Burton, helped out, and a dunk from the little man! Gets right on there, that has brought everybody to their feet!
Shovels it back to Robinson. Robinson lays it in.
A beautiful spring in the Northeast, home to the Newcastle Eagles, and they welcome in the scorching Cheshire Phoenix. 28 threes in their last game, a club record, riding a 2-game win streak in Vertu Motors Arena against the home team. Newcastle was able to stop the bleeding in their last home game right before the international break. 11 games remaining in the SLB championships season, and the home team is looking to climb up the championship ladder. I'm your commentator, Drew Laska, and alongside me is Ron Blaine. Ron, fourth and final game between these teams. What have you seen in these matchups so far this season?
All these matchups this season, Drew, have been very tightly and close contests each and every matchup. Obviously, Eagles getting the better of them, but Cheshire have an opportunity here to level out the playing field and hopefully take another win in their season.
Well, we enter the meat and potatoes of the season. So let's take a look at the league fixture schedule. London going down to Manchester basketball earlier this week. And boy, that's going to really set up the finals in a couple of weeks here.
I'm already super excited. I actually rewatched that game last night just to remind myself how much of a good competition and how good of a game that final is going to be on the 22nd in Manchester as well.
Well, Manchester hosting Caledonia here tonight, and then Newcastle and Cheshire playing on Sunday. Let's take a look at the standings here in the league, and right now, you're either one win away from climbing up or one loss away from falling all the way down.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want as a Super League fan. The competitiveness and just the closeness of this fixture, or these standings so far in this season. Like you just said, it's the meat and bones and the potatoes of this season so far. So looking forward to seeing which teams prevail.
Let's take a look at our star watch here tonight. Ron, you got your eyes on Rayshon Taylor, and a big reason why. 51 big-time buckets in the last time he was here.
I mean, he put on a standout performance that night against Surg right before the break. 51 points, can't go without being said that he had a fantastic night, and he did it from all three levels. He honestly, we're seeing him shoot the three, we're seeing him shoot the midi, tough shots after tough shots, and just what a performance by Rayshon Taylor.
Absolutely incredible. A club record, something that I have never seen before. And this is the play right here that got it done. Rayshon Taylor, 51 points, but more importantly, a W at the end of that. But on the other side, he has his hands full because the two-time SLB Player of the Month has come to town.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Robinson is a handful within himself. I've seen him play a handful of times this season, and he's one of the engines of this Cheshire team. He's the leading scorer of the Cheshire team with 19 points a game, and you can see as well, he gets it done each and every night for this club.
Yeah, he just is able to get inside the paint with that left hand every single time. Let's take a look at the Cheshire Phoenix started 5 right there. You see it, Pat Robinson actually coming off the bench there, and Skylar White. How many threes is he away from the record again?
I want to say he said 15 points to me pre-game. I think 15 points. I don't know if it's threes, but yeah, he has a record that he's chasing. But more importantly, Skylar said he wants to win the game, so hopefully it just comes natural for him.
Well, Newcastle does a great job of defending Skylar White. And the reason is because Coach Stoodle, one of the best in the business when it comes to preparation. Newcastle, I mentioned it before, sitting right there in that 8th and final spot. They got Caledonia just breathing right down the neck, Ron.
Yeah, that's not a good spot to be in when somebody's trying to chase you, but all they can do is just worried about what they can control, which is what is in front of them tonight. As we take a look at the Newcastle Eagles starting lineup, we have Cole Long, Rayshawn Taylor, Dion Hammond, Maceo Jack, and Mitch Clark rounding it up. So looking forward to a great basketball game here tonight at Vertu Arena.
A 7-man rotation for the Eagles as they're out with Ward Hibbert, who's been out a couple of months with that ankle injury. Sauveur Kande, along with Darius Defoe, is out as well. Ben Thomas, the Cheshire Phoenix lead man there, has just done, I would have to say he is the best recruiter in the SLB when it comes to finding diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, I think what it really comes down to is he has a specific playing style that he likes to do. And he picks players that honestly just match it perfectively.
Well, we know the style of play that Cheshire wants to play, and that's an up and down, freestyling, letting it go from beyond the arc. And Newcastle, you don't want to get a scoring race with that. You want to make sure that you defend the three-point line.
100%. Cheshire honestly runs the fast break really well. They shoot the most threes in the league, and they make a good bit of those threes as well. And if you're Newcastle, you have to do a good job of trying to limit those threes, running these guys off the line, and just making their life a little bit difficult in the defensive end.
SLB championship action coming at you in less than 30 seconds. Fans getting themselves comfortable in the building, getting their last beverages and popcorn, because we are entering the final stretch of the SLB season. Newcastle fighting for their playoff lives. Cheshire looking to secure a top 4 finish, which, by the way, I was only one of the pundits that predicted that.
That preseason rankings, you're pretty good at that. You're getting used to it, I would say. You know the Cheshire faithful love that as well.
I got to find a way to get on that good side. You know, they seem to love Azania and Dan and bring them cookies and ice cream. What about your boy? Come show us some love here in Newcastle. Well, we are all set here to go. Cheshire in the beautiful orange jerseys, while Newcastle in the traditional black. Teams ready to go. The 6th matchup this season. Newcastle taking out Cheshire in the trophy semifinals, booking themselves a ticket to Birmingham here in January. But Newcastle leads the season series 2-1. Cheshire looking to even it all up here.
Yeah, and I don't think Cheshire will be forgetting about being exited and bounced out of that trophy earlier in the year. So we'll see how they respond here.
Diggins winning the tip. LaQuincy Rideau at the 1s and 2s for the Cheshire Phoenix, defended by Mitch Clark. Skylar White, we mentioned it before. 15 points off a franchise record, going to work really early, and that's how you chase a record, getting inside.
That's very true, Drew. Honestly, that was an easy bucket there. Skylar White just taking advantage of the mismatch and the switching of the Eagles here early.
Maceo Jack, former Cheshire Phoenix, last time he played there, 93% from the free throw line, 43% from beyond the arc, as Cole Long is unable to get the Eagles on the board, but nearly getting an interception there.
Yeah, that's good reaction time there by Cole Long, just reading the play in transition. Oh, and it's Eagles basketball.
Well, this is the type of start that we saw from Eagles 2 weeks ago. Change up their starting lineup, move Emmanuel Conway to the bench, and started with a more smaller lineup, and you see why, a little bit more dynamic from outside.
And that's a great play out of bounds there. Mitch Clark obviously assisting on that play. A fantastic pass and a better shot by Hammond.
Excuse us with our Cameron. That's what he does well, staying active. Brinchley is long, says, give me that. Eagles on the race. Rayshawn Taylor, 51 points last time in this building. Mitch Clark lining it up from three, and the Eagles 2 for 2 from the gate.
And that's a good shot. I mean, Eagles obviously led in defense, turned into high offensive possessions there. Great shot there by Mitch Clark to give the Eagles the early lead.
Is there anything to give constructive criticism on Cheshire? It's the road so far this season has just not been as consistent as they are when they're at the comforts of the Cheshire Oaks Arena.
Yeah, they shoot it so well at their home gym. It's one thing that I think everybody in the league expects and knows when they go down to play at Cheshire.
You're going to be out in a shootout, that's for sure, and you better not bring a water gun.
Yeah, you better not, because they're going to bring theirs. They're going to bring their gun for sure.
Here's Cameron. Inside the paint, turns it over. Cheshire with their second turnover of the evening.
And yeah, that's a couple good possessions in a row there by Eagles. Obviously undersized, undermanned, but they're playing with a lot of heart here early and a lot of passion on that defensive end.
Here's Jack looking to attack Diggins, getting inside. Doesn't like what he sees. LaQuincy, one of the best defenders in the league. I don't think you're going to see 51 points on his watch, but Mitch Clark, meanwhile, again, 5 early points out the gate.
Yeah, that's 2 for 2 for Mitch Clark. He's reading the defense really well. Eagles are doing a fantastic job of moving the ball, and that small ball lineup is doing wonders for them here early.
Well, you see the deflections, Cole Long earlier. You see Hammond there, forcing the turnovers, just a little bit more quicker on the ball. In the part of the game where they've struggled with this season is defense.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a fantastic job of just containing the basketball here early, and just their activity on the defensive end is what's getting it done here in this first quarter. But Cheshire Phoenix are just trying to get settled in. Obviously a long road trip up, so I don't expect them to go quiet.
Here's Rideau. Again, looking to go inside, exploit this matchup. Great pass out the wing to Diggins. Can't lace it up, but offensive rebound to give another opportunity and another turnover. Here's Jack on the run, steps around, foul, count the bucket. Maceo Jack and the Newcastle Eagles off to a dream start.
And again, it's all on the defensive end, Drew. They're doing a fantastic job of just being active in those passing lanes, taking advantage of that and converting on the other end in offense.
Take another look at that. Maceo Jack, a one-man fast break. Brinchley just getting his hands there in the cookie jar. And Eagles with an opportunity to balloon the lead up, but we'll stay here at 8.
Just look at the ball pressure here.
And another turnover, this time caused by Hammond.
Eagles have a look in their eyes right now. They see blood right now, especially on the defensive end.
And right now, judging both teams, Newcastle looks like a team that is using the momentum of the game that they won before the break, and Cheshire looks like they have a hangover from the international break.
That is very true, which is exactly what you kind of come to expect after a break. It can go one of two ways, and as you just described.
Well, when you make a franchise record 28 threes, the last thing that you want is to sit down. You want another game quick, hurry, and fast.
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, that was not the case for them over the past week and a half. But as we have Patrick Robinson, the leading scorer of this team, checking into the ball game, he's a very good player for the Cheshire Phoenix.
Well, it's nice to bring 22 points off the bench, isn't it?
Yeah.
Player of the month the last 2 months in Robinson. Team has just had a real struggle keeping him out the paint. Diggins and Cameron cleans up the dirty dishes inside.
Yeah, and a little bit of sleepiness there from Mitch Clark on that rebound. Coach Studel's not happy about it, but the Eagles strike back again really fast.
Maceo Jack getting to that midi. Here's Robinson, so lethal, getting downhand with that left, and you see it right there. And it seems like with Robinson, and this is respectfully, because he was once my teammate, he reminds me of how Ramon Fletcher was able to constantly get in the paint, specifically with the left hand.
I love that comparison. That is a really good comparison. A little bit bigger than Fletch, but nevertheless, Fletch is a legend here for the Eagles and in the SLB or BBL in general. Very good comparison, though.
Here's Cameron. Again, another offensive rebound. Skylar White, 11 points away.
He's getting close, closing in on it. But a good job again of Cheshire Phoenix, just keeping that ball alive. I think that's their second or third offensive rebound here in this first quarter. Hey, Drew, I caught the ball.
There you go. Hey, take a shot, Steph. I don't know. This is about 40 feet right here. How does it look from you from this angle?
Doesn't look too bad. But the percentages don't say they're in my favor of just being transparent.
You haven't warmed up either, so I'll give you a little. I mean, we gotta keep our eyes. You know, we're teammates here, but we're actually enemies. Both of our teams, our college teams, as Hammond laces it up from outside, battling each other in the Pac-West semifinals here today. So
yeah, I'm a bit outnumbered. You have Skylar White as another Point Loma alum, but yeah, our two teams are battling it out here this evening. I think in a few hours, actually. Very close.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, Newcastle, Taylor, 49 points away from tying his franchise record, and another steal by Newcastle. 2-on-1 opportunity here. Cole Long takes it all the way, and Newcastle has forced Ben Thomas to call a timeout because they have come out the gate like a team on a mission.
That is exactly true. They have come out here and tried to send a statement to the Cheshire Phoenix right now. And it's really, like I keep stating, it's on the defensive end. This group on the floor right now for the Eagles are a very switchable group. They know they're undersized, they rotate well, and they're just playing the passing lanes and being more active than Cheshire right now.
Well, this game is feeding right into the Newcastle's MO because they are the #1 fast break team in the league. So for Cheshire Phoenix, what you don't want to do is have live ball turnovers and fuel that beast in the fast break that the Newcastle Eagles are equipped with.
100%. And they also, just to piggyback on that comment, they also have very good finishers at the rim, the Eagles. They have a multitude of players right now that can finish at the rim, create contact, draw fouls, and just get more points on the board for them.
As I take a look at the stats here, Ron, what stands out? 0 turnovers for Newcastle, 5 for Cheshire, 9 fast break points, 9 points off turnovers for Eagles, 0 and 0 for Cheshire.
Wow. I mean, that's the game right now in this first quarter. Still a long ways to play, obviously. It's a long basketball game. Cheshire just has to get settled down as quickly as possible, or this game can get out of hand fast.
Well, Ben Thomas has seen enough with that starting 5, decides to bring in Pocelli along with Lindo and Matt Zona, getting their first taste of action here this evening. Newcastle riding the horse that's got them 19 points in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're the Eagles right now, you don't want to let up. You want to keep this pressure on as they come out with the same lineup. And obviously, Coach Stoodle probably implored that at the timeout.
Another turnover, number 6 for Cheshire. Mitch Clark on the run, left wide open, 21-6 here in Newcastle. Who saw that coming?
As the Eagles here, Coach Stoodle playing a bit of chess, going into a zone.
And Robinson picking up where he's left off the last 2 months, being named the best player in the SLB.
And that's an interesting call there from Coach Stoodle to go zone. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on that previous possession? Because I think they went zone pretty quickly. It was pretty sporadic, but obviously Pat Robinson took advantage of it. So what are your thoughts?
Yes, I understand he's playing cat and mouse with this defense, throwing, as we would describe that as junk defense. It's just tough to switch it out like that after a make. Typically, you want to do it after a free throw or after a timeout, but that means with a 7-man rotation, you got to be able to reserve the legs as well.
100%. As Robinson came up short on that previous free throw, and Hammond took it coast to coast and unfortunately missed. Cheshire on the offensive end now.
Here's Lindo going inside the mat zona, and Mitch Clark continues to find himself on mismatches, but one thing about him, he's going to battle.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He fights constantly, nonstop. Mitch is someone that won't back down. He has that aura about him.
Mark Stuttle pulling the strings, going with his first substitute here as Okafor gets his first taste of SLB action in the month of March.
And again, a very still switchable lineup there for the Eagles. So nothing to be too concerned with.
Hammond answers the bell. Newcastle, 3 threes out the gate from beyond the arc. There's Lindo, drives into traffic, but he will go to the line for 2.
That's a good take there by Lindo, trying to get himself going. Cheshire do like to play fast, Drew, but at this point of the game, you got to be very cautious with how fast you're playing because it's fueling the other end for the Eagles.
Well, I have not seen a scenario where the Cheshire Phoenix have shown us they're capable of playing slow.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the type of style that fits Cheshire as Lindo. Interesting fact, his father is a famous actor on Sinners, which I actually watched that movie on the flight to California a couple of months ago. A great movie, by the way.
Have they already put that on the plane? That's a lovely film for a plane.
Well, you know, they don't waste time these days. You know,
Yeah.
movies sit in the theater, 2 weeks now, and you got to go to the consumer. We ain't trying to leave the house these days. I don't know about you.
That is true. That is a fantastic film for those who haven't seen.
Hammond unable to go back-to-back. Cheshire might be on to something here. Pacelli can't leave him open. Beautiful, soft lefty there. Playing in Latvia last season, but again, Cheshire has done a great job on the offensive boards, and they will get another crack at it as Mitch Clark will give Maceo Jack a breather.
Yeah, and that puts Cheshire on I'm pretty sure 5 offensive rebounds here in this first quarter, so that's something to be positive about.
Well, here's your 2-3 zone again here, Ron. This is the scenarios that I feel like is better suited. Dead ball situations. Let's see how it works out on this possession.
Mitch Clark is fighting for his life right now, doing a great job of covering that middle of that zone.
Great finish by Diggins. Here's Clark. Sees the contact and muscles himself inside.
And Mitch Clark's having himself a very good, productive first quarter.
Beautiful pump fake there and finish by Diggins.
Game's starting to slow down a bit.
Taylor. Cole Long with that signature step back at the midi. Cheshire with an opportunity here. Robinson. And it looked, from my vantage point, that Mitch Clark had terrific position there. I don't know. We need to see this again.
Yeah, that's a tough call. Again, I've been on the receiving end of those from Mitch Clark in the past, and he's gotten rewarded with it. I thought he was going to get the same result here.
That's great defense from my perspective. Chest in front.
Yeah, I think that back referee had a different angle. So, nevertheless, Pat Robinson being aggressive is rewarded 2 free throws right now.
Pat Robinson has been an absolute scoring machine for the Cheshire Phoenix this season, and no team has just been able to slow him down, specifically when he gets downhill going left.
Yeah, he's such a hard cover because he also can shoot the ball very well from the outside. So he keeps defenses modest at best. So he's definitely a hard cover.
Off-ball foul here. Phoenix, only the 3rd team foul, but immediately Conway comes in limping, and that is not a good sign.
Yeah, a bit of knee-to-knee contact there for Manny Conway. But he's going to fight on. He's a tough guy.
Here's Clark, 2:30 remaining here in the first. Eagles, one of their highest scoring first quarters of the season. Here's Robinson. This is where he's so lethal and great. Block there by Okafor. Stolen by Lindo. Nice little pickup there.
Yeah, and you just want to see Mr. Hammond take care of the basketball there. That's a good stop. But obviously, Coach Toodle's not happy about that and decides to call the troops in for a little discussion really quick.
Well, the Cheshire Phoenix currently 0 for 4 from beyond the arc after a franchise record 28 just 2 weeks ago against the Surrey 89ers. If there's any team in the league that's defended the Cheshire Phoenix well from beyond the arc, it is the Newcastle Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams are very familiar with each other, two great coaches. And like you said at the start of the broadcast, Coach Toodle is one that's going to do his homework, and these guys do their homework when it comes to the Cheshire Phoenix. But the stat that really is jumping out to us right now, as we take a look on the screen, is the Eagles 11 fast break points to the Cheshire Phoenix 3. And if we look up at the scoreboard, it's a 12-point basketball game. So that's a big factor right now. Most of those fast break points, Drew, are coming off turnovers.
Right, and then for Cheshire, 6 bench points because Ben Thomas basically sat that starting 5 down, or most players from it, after that start. Looks like he's going to give them another bite of the apple as LaQuincy Rideau and Skylar White returns. 26-16, Eagles 10-point lead, currently leads the season series 2-1. Ben Thomas having a fantastic season here again for the Cheshire Phoenix. Here's Clark. Ghost screen from Okafor. Nearly gets stripped by Rideau.
And that's great hands there.
Here's Lindo, takes off and finishes with the left, and he has back-to-back baskets.
Yeah, and he's come out with a lot of defense intensity himself, converting on a couple easy baskets, which is always good in the beginning of a game.
And you can see him very locked in defensively. You can see it in his eyes. Let's see how he fares down here with the bigger Okafor. Okafor going to the, and great defense there by Lindo. Here's Robinson again with that left hand and 61% in the paint. And he's showing you why, as the Cheshire Phoenix are currently on a 6-0 run.
And just like that, Drew, they've already brought this game back to single digits. 2-possession basketball game here with 1:30 left. No time to panic, no sense of panic. This team knows their identity.
And they did it by playing fast. Like I mentioned, ain't nothing slow about the Cheshire Phoenix.
Yeah, I think it starts with that orange. It's just like smoke, it's like fire.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
We see you. Here's Taylor with the snatch back. Nice screen there by Conway.
But that's great help defense there by Skylar White on that hedge of that screen. Obviously, then Lindo got screened, did a fantastic job fighting over, or trying to fight over. But just the rotation by the Cheshire Phoenix there was really good.
Well, we teach players how to be great defenders at Loma Land. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But at Point Loma University, that's what we do, Ron. As Hammond can't find the bottom of the net. Again, Cheshire Phoenix on the run. This time is Rideau, picked up by Robinson. He kind of gets himself in. And you can count the bucket because although it wasn't looking like it was going in, it was coming down, which is a goaltend.
I mean, did you just see how quickly Pat Robinson played that ball off the leg of Rideau? Rideau has a fast break here. Robinson just scoops it up and just goes right downhill to his left hand, swiftly as can be.
Well, he kind of reminds me of, and this might be beyond your time, the Road Runner.
Okay, yeah.
Bugs Bunny, the beep beep.
Yeah.
Out there fast. You know who that is, right?
I know who the Road Runner is.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Beyond your time is crazy, you know. I got some age on me. I'm not a 2000s baby. I get it.
Yeah, but Robinson is just so electric in the fast court. I mean, you can argue from baseline to baseline, he may be the fastest player in the league, but I'm sure the injured player for the Newcastle Eagle have something to say about that.
That is true, yeah. I mean, it's a couple guys that come to mind with that type of speed, but he has the whole total package when it comes to finishing as well. So, but just like that, I mean, Drew, we had a 4-point basketball game over 2 minutes ago. It was over 10 points. So Cheshire's right here in the ball game.
And Robinson, 8 points off the bench. 3-point ball game. Taylor seeing off plenty defenders, gives the LaMelo ball, 1-footer, can't finish. Great offensive rebound there by Conway, who muscles, easy call, offensive foul.
Yeah, and that's a tough call to take if you're Emmanuel Conway. You want to just go up strong with that. Obviously, that was in his mindset, but kind of got a bit eager with the extension of that arm.
Cheshire, an opportunity for a 2-on-1 here. They'll take it as Skylar White from the corner can't score it, but
another offensive rebound there for the Phoenix, though.
And that is what has kept Cheshire in this one. 6 offensive rebounds so far, but it is Eagles ball, and they could hold for the last and final shot. Taylor matched up against Robin. I would love to see these guys battle it off one-on-one. 2 terrific offensive players. Taylor is looking to milk the clock, make sure the Eagles get out of here with the last shot. Okafor step back 3 ball.
And I must say, I'm sorry I just got you off, Drew. I must say the rotation there, again, is constant if you're paying attention. By Tobias Cameron is fantastic. He's getting over on the flight of the basketball.
Well, Skylar White from 50 feet, nearly, and that is how we will wrap the first quarter up here in Vertu Motors Arena. The Newcastle Eagles will head to the second frame with a 3-point lead, and talk us through that first quarter, Ron. What did you see?
I mean, I saw 2 teams that are very hungry for a win tonight, but first and foremost, the Eagles came out punching very hard in the beginning of that first quarter, but all it took was Cheshire to get a few stops and to settle in, and more importantly, stop turning the ball over. As we take a look at the first quarter stats here, and the turnovers, which aren't shown here, but I think the Eagles have a total of 3 turnovers. The Eagles have 3 turnovers, as the Cheshire Phoenix have 7 turnovers, and that's really been the difference in that first quarter. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think Eagles got off to that fast start, similar to what we saw here 2 weeks ago. The difference is the depth. Only a 7-man rotation for Newcastle, so kind of slowed down a little bit in Cheshire. Once they entered that bench, were able to take things up another notch, specifically with Robinson, who produced 7 points off the bench there.
That's very true, and it's unlike Cheshire. I mean, they haven't hit a 3-point shot yet in this ball game, but they're only 1 possession down, so no time to panic for the Cheshire Phoenix. And if you're the Newcastle Eagles, you got to turn it up another gear, because you know this team isn't going to stop running.
Offensively, it was Dion Hammond who got the Newcastle Eagles out the gate, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, and that's what he does, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, he's a versatile player that can, again, score in bunches, which we saw in that first quarter. And then you also got to give a little bit of praise to Mitch Clark, who also came out with 9 points in that first quarter, and he came out the gate firing as well. So 2 Eagles on 9 points, which is a good sighting if you're an Eagles supporter, but again, it's a long game left.
Well, just elaborate, because when you think of the Cheshire Phoenix, defense isn't something that's typically mentioned, but what have you seen here in the first quarter that looks promising on that side of the ball for the Phoenix?
I mean, they're doing a good job, like I said, of the rotation by Cameron there early. The Eagles are putting them in pick and rolls and popping, and that middle rotation is there. And as well on the ball screen coverages, they're doing a good job and just pressuring the ball a little bit. But the Eagles have to not get into that, fall into that trap of playing one-on-one basketball, and again begin to use their whole offense.
Well, Mitch Clark just driving by one of the better defenders in the SLB, making it look easy to go to double figures.
Yeah, you can tell Mitch Clark was in the gym over that FIBA break, because he's come out firing here in this first half.
Well, he did mention to me that he feels refreshed, the most basketball he's ever played, because as you mentioned before, as Cameron is able to get Cheshire Phoenix first 3 ball of the evening, that the intensity of practice is just raised up a level here in the SLB compared to the BCB.
Yeah, it's definitely different. You can tell, oh, as he takes a tough fall there, I hope he's all right. But just the physicality, the pace, the speed, these guys are flying up and down the floor. And I think it just took a little bit of adjusting for Mitch, and he looks like he's found his feet here.
Well, I think he was speaking specifically on the load, being you know, Eagles practicing pretty much every single day, traveling. That is a huge difference of what he experienced at Reading last year.
Yeah, only 2-3 times a week maybe at Reading. So very different, very true.
And Cameron able to go back-to-back from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and we spoke about Cameron in the pregame as well. He's somebody I've seen over the course of this season be the X factor for this Cheshire team on a given night, as well as Lindo. Him and Lindo are very good coming off the bench, or one of them starting.
Here's Robinson again, getting inside. Great defense there by Long, one of the better underrated defenders here in the SLB. Fans looking for an intentional foul on Skylar White. Not sure they'll get it. He looks as though to have been reaching for the ball. Cheshire going back to the bench. Lindo Diggins returns while Robinson and Pocelli will take a break.
And just like that, you look up and Cheshire have a 1-point lead.
I was just thinking that. As well as the Eagles play, you look at the scoreboard and the Cheshire Phoenix are winning. And Rayshawn Taylor getting and hanging in the air. Wow, it's just some plays you see by him, and it's just, he's just oozing with talent as Cameron unable to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, these two teams can't help but to play fast.
As bodies, it's just flying around. Here, as you just mentioned, the physicality. That's why I'm glad I'm sat right here next to you, Ron, because I would probably be feeling that for the next 2 or 3 days if I'm Hammond.
Yeah, he bounced up pretty quick. I think he's all right.
I mean, he's a tank himself.
He is.
Military kid, Ben Thomas, has led Cheshire to several cup and trophy titles here during the helm, and we must never forget that upset against the London Lions a couple of years ago there in Birmingham. And then the win there in Glasgow as well for the trophy. But here's Taylor. Can't find the range. Rideau and that's a travel.
That is a travel. That's tough. He wanted to play that on the bounce. And his brain was just working a bit too fast there.
And that's that thing, right? If he hits that previous 3, you stop short because you want to go 4 for 4 and get a heat check. But 100%. Then you miss it when you're not really, you know, a knockdown shooter. Then all of a sudden you go back to what you're great at. It's cold, long, and Eagles all of a sudden have gone cold from beyond the arc.
Eagles got bailed. I mean, Cheshire got bailed out there though.
Nice block there by Diggins. Again, stripped up. Diggins showing that defense that you've been talking about here early, and somehow Cameron just oops, as he loses 2 Newcastle Eagles defenders.
Yeah, Maceo Jack, I think, thought that Cameron was going to probably try to pass that ball, but he did it very discreetly and kept it and ended up finishing an easy 2 points.
Where's Jack going against his former team, and Newcastle, all of a sudden that ball has just gotten a little bit sticky from what we saw here earlier as Lindo has been a huge spark off the Cheshire Phoenix bench here today.
Yes, he has. He's come in with a lot of energy and playing fantastic basketball here in this first half as he gets another trip to the free throw line. And I believe that is Dion Hammond's 2nd foul, which will see him go to the bench for a little bit.
Well, Cheshire have really started to push the pace despite going 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. And this is a team that, regardless of the scoreboard, regardless of the situation, they just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, that's their thing. They're going to keep their identity the entirety of this game. It's something that Ben Thomas obviously preaches to the guys. And I don't think they even blinked when they were down 14-15 early. They just kept going. And regardless of how they're shooting the ball, they're going to continue. If you're a viewer right now, just expect them to continue to shoot that 3 ball.
And I love their on-ball intensity defensively of what we've seen here tonight, as they've done a great job of containing Taylor. Here's Okafor against the smaller Lindo, going to the fadeaway, but Mitch Clark with the timely cut.
Yeah, he's such a smart and savvy basketball player. What a smart decision to make that cut at the perfect time and draw that foul.
Well, Mitch Clark has been that glue piece for the Eagles this season, and offensively has not seen his output from what we saw last season in Reading translate. However, he is creeping up on a career high, 17 points against Surrey on December 30th, and so far, 11 points to his name.
Yeah, and if it's one thing I know about Mitch, just from conversation, he just wants to win basketball games. He does whatever it takes, whether it's him scoring the basketball or not, whatever it takes to win games, which is why Reading was so successful last season.
And Cameron slices inside again.
Yeah, between Lindo and Cameron, these two guys, they're practically interchangeable, but they play so hard and provide just an extra lift for this Phoenix team. Good defense there by Zona.
Maceo gets the friendly roll.
What's the saying? Good defense, but better offense?
Good D, better O.
Man, great finish there by Maceo Jack.
Vertu, quiet offensively here tonight. Beautiful high-low there. Back to Zona. Lindo, hot hand here tonight, keeps it cooking.
Yeah, those two are having fantastic performances right now. I think Cameron's a little bit tired. He looks over to Ben Thomas and lets him know about it, but it's a big possession here. Can they get a stop?
Well, Cheshire with their biggest lead of the evening as Mitch Clark again just doing a great job of penetrating Cheshire's wall of defenders, as Vertu and Cameron will go take a break, replaced by Brenchley and Robinson.
Yeah, Mitch Clark's aggression tonight has to be noted. It is very, very vital for this team. They're staying in this ball game due to that. And he has to just continue to keep his foot on the gas pedal. He's taking his time and picking his parts, picking his spots where he wants to attack, and he's doing a good job at it.
Well, just to give you context, he scored 11 points in the last 3 games combined, and here tonight, he already has 13 points.
Yeah, that break benefited him well, you can tell.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, just a little bit of a spark to him. Got a battery in his back. Cole Long picks up the offensive rebound. Taylor, great pass. Inside the Jack. And when he gets his feet set, Taylor just unable to find his rhythm here tonight. But here's Brenchley, wide open. He can't finish. Was expecting the contact from Maceo Jack.
Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't come away with that easy 2 points, but now you got to focus on the defensive end.
Well, Mitch Clark says, look what I found, but can't finish there. Again, Cheshire on the run. Diggins looking to take care of business by himself, and again, Cole Long. He does not get enough credit about his defense.
He's a very good defender. He's much taller than people, I think, assume. And then when you go against him, you're like, okay, I may be able to get him. He may have a little slow feet, but no, Cole Long is a very good defender, especially in the playoffs last year. That's what he made his name as a defender in my book.
Oh, snatch back Taylor. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, he didn't.
Well, I like that. I like that.
Wow. That's a way to get going.
That is very true.
Taylor with his first 3 points from beyond the arc. Lindo over to Zona. He can shoot it from outside, and he responds.
And these two teams, they just play so fast. Look how fast Rayshawn's already down the floor.
Rayshawn Taylor finds Maceo Jack in the opposite corner. And a jack of all trades, string it up. Teams going back and forth. Offense starting to heat up here in Vertu. In his final matchup, here's Zona showing he can put the ball on the floor. Great defense by Conway.
That's a fantastic job of rotating by Manny Conway.
Here's Taylor. Clark out of bounds.
And that's just a bit careless there. Obviously, you want to get the ball to Mitch Clark. It's a good idea, but just a bit careless.
And you can see the game plan from Coach Ben Thomas, very clear. He is running bodies in and out, understanding that Newcastle only 7 players available, and so with the pace that they play, he's telling them, hey, put your track shoes on.
Yeah, let's do it. Get ready to run. Get some cardio in, boys.
Yeah.
Let's get some cardio
What
in.
have you been doing on the international break? We're about to see.
We're going to find out tonight.
Well, Zona, nice extra pass to the Brenchley, looking to get his first 3 ball, and does. And all of a sudden, things have heated up for the Cheshire Phoenix, specifically from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I feel like Cheshire's that team that once they see 1 or 2 threes fall from one person, the team gets it, and it's contagious.
Conway, that's a great point because they fuel off one another's momentum.
100%.
Rideau, scoreless this afternoon. No, he has 3 points. Zona looking to go back-to-back, and here we go. Here we go, and Mark Studel calls for time because Cheshire only 2 points scored in the first 4 minutes of this game, and you look up, 47 points, and we got 3 minutes to play.
It's a track meet.
Just like that.
It's a track meet. These two teams can't, like I keep stating, they can't help but to play fast. This is what they do, and they have so many different players on their roster that can take advantage of a one-on-one matchup. That's what we're seeing here in this first half.
See both teams. Look at that right there. That's a playground move right there, Taylor doing at the professional level. But Zona in this little run going back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden both teams starting to heat up. But I don't think any team wants to get in a 3-point contest with the Cheshire Phoenix.
No, that's definitely not an idea that's not something that you would want to do. So Eagles have to be careful here. It's a big point. It's a big point in this game. They're down 24-16 in this quarter. So just like that, the Cheshire Phoenix have responded and just matched what the Eagles did in that first period.
Put your coaching hat on. How do you defend a team that plays with so much pace, that's so lethal from beyond the arc?
It's an easy answer, but I don't think that this group can do it in the sense of they want to play fast as well. But my answer to your question would be you got to slow the game down. You have to slow the game down. You have to, possession by possession, let's eat some clock. Let's take maybe 15 seconds, 17 seconds off that clock in order to limit the amount of shots that Cheshire gets, because they just want to continue to get shots up. They want to play the attempts game, and they're really good at it.
Limit possessions.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great point.
But Eagles, on the other hand, they play fast as well. They lead the league in fast break points, so it's a tough one. This is why these two teams match up really well with each other.
Taylor going at the player of the month. This time Robinson gets the better of it, but Okafor cleans up aisle 5. Oh, nice pass there, Zona. And Robinson
He's
with
fired
a
up.
beautiful pocket pass to the big fella.
He's fired up after that one.
Jack. Nice little pull-up midi. Cole Long keeping it alive. Brenchley. Eagles doing a good job of containing, and here's Taylor, 2-on-1, and Cole Long with the long arm of the law throws it down.
Some people don't know Cole. Ooh.
And Porcelli
Wow.
says you better get back on D.
Wow. They're playing so fast. It's so fast. Such an up and down game. It's a good game to be a part of.
Porcelli. Beautiful southpaw three. Jack going at Brenchley. Looks like he saw contact, but that's what you mentioned there. That's the possession you probably need to eat clock, get some ball movement.
Right.
Because Policelli, all of a sudden, you don't want that man to get hot.
The amount of players on this Cheshire team that have hit 2 threes back-to-back. I think we have 3 of them. Matt Zona, Policelli, and Cameron. Tobias Cameron as well. He's hit 2 back-to-back as well.
And that's the type of possession that you have to have if you're the Eagles. And man, Cheshire, Policelli, and this is a guy that comes off the bench, by the way. I mean, just no hesitation.
And they encourage him to shoot that shot. I've been around this team a couple times this season, and I've heard Ben Thomas yelling at Policelli to let it fly, let it fly.
Well, you see that technique there? Yeah. Why would you tell him not to shoot it?
Let it fly.
Eagles in a little bit of danger zone here in the final minute of this quarter. Cheshire with 55 points on the board. Again, we mentioned the last 3 games that these teams have played. Wow. Cheshire, well, one of the winning team has been in the hundreds.
They're more than on pace of that right now.
So it's looking very promising for the Cheshire Phoenix at the moment, but the Eagles, we know they can get hot as well. Here's Robinson. Getting downhill, meets Taylor, great defense. Here's Eagles, opportunity in hand, and Taylor. I mean, that's just a nasty in and out.
Yeah, he's got Skylar White trying to backpedal back. Maybe that's a sign of what Point Loma's going to be doing today, just backpedaling back as the Sharks come in and take a lead.
Well, that's one thing we didn't have at Point Loma. We didn't have tap dancing shoes, that's for sure. I mean, anybody would struggle with Taylor coming at you full speed downhill. 51 points here 2 weeks ago. Just an incredible sighting, something that these Newcastle fans gave a round of applause of at the end of this game because it was just a terrific individual performance.
Yeah, actually, rightfully so. I mean, have you scored 50 before, Drew?
I don't know what that side of the coin looks like. I've been in the 40s. I've swam in that ocean.
Okay, I swam in that.
But not in the 50s.
I like that.
There are sharks in that water.
There are sharks in that water.
And Rayshon Taylor showing you that he can Policelli, and that's a little bit too much space, but this time Eagles dodging a bullet. They could 3-second differential with time and shot clock. And you want to milk this because you don't want to give Cheshire another opportunity here. Taylor getting the matchup he likes, able to slice, dice inside, 5 seconds on the clock. Here's Cameron and Robinson at the buzzer, and Robinson, again, we talked about the worst case scenario, and that was it for the Cheshire Phoenix as they're able to turn on the Jets and finish right at the buzzer as player of the month. Pat Robinson getting it done.
Fantastic by the Cheshire Phoenix there to just end the quarter. But you talk about ending quarters and closing quarters. And they did just that in that situation there, capitalizing on that mistake there by the Eagles.
Cheshire Phoenix, 57 points on the board here in Newcastle. You take a look at the stats, Ron, and they look a lot different from how they looked at the end of the first quarter.
I mean, they were 0 for 4 to start that first quarter from 3, and they hit 8 in the second quarter, and that's the difference right there. I mean, that's really the biggest difference that stands out to me. Alongside
and they stopped turning the ball over as well.
That is true. They also stopped turning the ball over. Also, the rebound battle, Cheshire has it 26-17, so they have a 9-point advantage on the boards. A couple of old boards in there for the Phoenix, but if you're the Eagles right now, you're still in this ball game. It's nothing to hang your hat on. Obviously, you had a big lead, but you have a low-depth roster right now, so it's kind of to be expected in some ways. So just kind of get back to what got you that lead in the first place, getting stops, trying to create, causing havoc, creating turnovers, and getting easy points in transition.
Well, Newcastle with a little bit of work to do, but Rayshon Taylor, 51 points. included in our halftime show. Take a break, come back and join us for some second half action here in the SLB.
Super League basketball is leveling up British youths. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
We are Vertu. We have over many years built a nationwide network of local dealerships with a choice of amazing cars from the world's leading manufacturers, all cared for by our highly skilled technicians. For customers who continue to praise us to friends and family alike. Because we are Vertu.
I've never been to America. This is my first time, so you know, it's not too much of a culture shock, honestly. You know, it's been a pretty good transition, and I'm very thankful for that. It's going smooth. I've really been liking the transition. You know what I'm saying? It's been a vibe out here, and I really like getting used to it. So it's a pretty cool city for sure. Coach Mark talked to me for sure. I feel like I was the right person for the position I'll be playing. You know, and then obviously getting to England, like, you know, I know it's a good culture over here. You know, they love basketball as well. So I just feel like I was a good fit for the team. You know, I'm gonna continue to stack those days and get to that point. He expected a lot from me, if I'm being quite honest. You know, we like this sometimes, but that's my guy. And I like the way that he's coaching, and he expected a lot from me, and I wouldn't want anything less. So I'm gonna continue to keep getting better. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rookie guard, but he gonna hold me accountable like I've been there 10 years. So I'm grateful. Both of them, they've been in my ear. They some good guys for sure. You know, I'm very grateful to have those type of people that are experienced and they want to give back to somebody that's younger than them. You know, you don't always get experiences like that. So I'm grateful for that. And you definitely, like, you want to learn from those guys. You know, they taught me little small rules that we got here that we don't have back home, just about even inbounding the ball, you know, calling timeout, stuff like that. Like, that matters to a point guard, and they understand that, and that's why I'm very thankful to have those guys on the team. I'm definitely an exciting player. Like, I won't sugarcoat it. Like, I get on the court, you know, I'm shooting step back threes, and I'm getting to the rack. You know, gets around from time to time. You know, a good scorer. But I think what doesn't show up on that is just my passion and the love I have for the game and how I play. And, you know, that might come with the leadership role I play. It might come with just the intensity I feel like I bring all the time. So that might be something that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but we still gonna get those highlight plays and stuff like that. I'm definitely that type of player for sure. I think we can be really good. We have guys that play hard, love the game, play the right way, and just like I said, we play at that intensity. So I feel like we hang our hat on the defensive end, we'll definitely be one of the top teams. And you know, I'm not scared to say it, as it is what it is. Honestly, I just want to win. Like, I know that's a cliche answer, but who doesn't want to win? You know what I'm saying? I want to go out there, I want to perform on a personal level, but all in all, if I take care of that, I know we'll be one of the top teams, and that's the main goal. And win championships, you know, I'm not too familiar on all the formats and stuff, but I'm gonna find it out as we go. I'm a wing it type of person, so I'm gonna get out there, play as hard as I can, try to win every day.
What's going on, SLB fans? My name's Maud, and we're here at the AO Arena. This is going to be the home of the SLB Cup Final on March 22nd, 2026. Now, this is special because this is the first time the Super League Basketball Cup Finals will be held in Manchester. Now, if you're new to the city, don't worry, because I'm going to show you around the most iconic spots in town. You ready? Let's do it. This is Piccadilly Gardens, the heartbeat of Manchester. Always buzzing, always busy, and literally an arm's length away from the AO Arena. Next up, we have the Trafford Centre, one of the biggest shopping malls in the UK, with over 30 million visitors every year. So before the game, you would do a little shop and grab some gear, head over here. Welcome to the Etihad Stadium, home of the 8-time Premier League champions, Manchester City. City are one of the biggest clubs in the country, but there's another huge club just around the corner. Manchester United are the biggest and most successful club in the country, and this is where they play, Old Trafford, aka the Theatre of Dreams. And just like the AO Arena, this is where history is made. This is the Northern Quarter, the creative hub of Manchester. Street art, food, and bars. Just like in basketball, this is where you find some style and flair. Next up, we're at Hume Park. This is where the real ballers come to Hume Park. So if you think you got game, pull up and let's see what you can do. So there you have it. That's Manchester in 60 seconds. Now I need you to bring all the energy. Super League Basketball Cup Finals, March 22nd, AO Arena. Let's do it.
Super League Basketball is levelling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.
Welcome back to Vertu Motors Arena. Coach Studel, what will he be thinking as the Newcastle Eagles see themselves in a 7-point deficit to go along with that 7-man rotation here tonight? Here's your score, 57-50. The Cheshire Phoenix coming out to a blistering 34 points there in the second quarter. And a lot of that had to do with Cheshire's bench.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw Coach Thomas get into the depth really easily, really early in that first quarter, excuse me, and it just carried over to the second quarter where the Cheshire Phoenix just caught fire. But if we take a look here, it's been a barrage of threes from both teams. Obviously, Cheshire Phoenix hitting 8 in the second quarter in total, and the Newcastle Eagles alone have hit 6 on the night. So between the two teams, 14 threes already made here tonight, which is why this score is what it is.
Well, speaking about that bench, how about Lindo? You could just see it in his eyes that he was locked in, specifically on the defensive end, where you have really given Cheshire Phoenix a lot of plaudits here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a good job of battling back, but specifically Lindo, he's come out with the right intensity and the right focus. Obviously, with the break looming in the background now, he's come out ready to start this second half or back end of the season with a force, and he's doing a fantastic job here for the Cheshire Phoenix this evening.
The Newcastle Eagles playing in the danger zone as we minute. They're leading by 2 losses in the loss column for the standings as Caledonia is breathing down a neck. A huge game here next week as Caledonia Gladiators visit. But specifically on the second half, what are you looking for out of Newcastle if they're going to bounce back into this one?
From Newcastle, we got to talk about the defensive end. We have to talk about the defensive end because giving up 34 points is just not going to cut it. You're not going to be able to win basketball games like that. And granted, they do have a little bit of an issue right now with the depth of their roster, but they played a much better first quarter than they did the second quarter, and I'm sure Coach Studel has something to say about that at halftime. Got to get stops. Maybe just slow the game down a little bit, take it possession by possession, and see what the outcome at the end of this third quarter will be, and we'll go from there.
Well, here's Cheshire sitting pretty in second place, and not many people in the SLB could have predicted that back in September, as a lot of pundits favored Manchester and Sheffield, rightfully so, but Cheshire just lying there in the weeds, and again, just like they do so often, proving the doubters wrong.
Yeah, they set themselves up really nicely for this final stretch of the season. So let's see how they come out this second half and if they can find a way to pull a win or if the Eagles can steal one here at home.
Well, Cheshire will start with it. Here's Rideau. The starting 5 got off to such a slow start here in the first quarter. It was that bench that woke this squad up, and Cameron was part of the crew bringing in with this energy. But here's Newcastle. One thing we know about them is they're going to fight. Clark getting downhill. Nice little drop off there to Long. Loses it, and that's the kind of start you want out the half.
Yeah, it's different from some of the other previous possessions in the end of that second quarter. Defense has been what's getting the Eagles going on that fast break, as we just saw there.
This is where they're going to have to do a better job of, because 57 points is not going to get it done. But plays like that is what will change the Newcastle Eagles' fortune.
100%. That's 2 possessions in a row. They got 2 stops. So again, defense has to be the mindset right now. If you're the Newcastle Eagles, you have to want to get stops here.
Taylor, quiet there in the first half. Hammond loses it. Here's Cheshire. Great defense there by Jack. Plenty of time on the clock as they go inside, and Mitch Clark, as he's been showing all night, has really been battling that mismatch that he's been thrown.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see, just the fight, just the grit. This game is still in anybody's hands and anybody control if they want to take it and grab it.
Eagles getting a stop on the previous play. Here's Brenchley in the Cheshire Phoenix, picking up where they left off in the second quarter.
That is now 9 made threes for the Phoenix here in this ball game.
And you can, from our vantage point, when it left Brenchley's hands, you knew it was good.
That is very true. And shout out Jackson Brenchley. Just found out he's having a newborn here soon. Him and Miss Brenchley. I'm very good friends with Jackson, Utah native, and hopefully his family's watching back home and wishing him good luck tonight.
Well, Taylor says, I ain't bringing you no gifts. As he answers back with a little mid-range. Cameron, just Skylar White, when he gets his feet set, one of the best in the SLB.
I mean, these guys, honestly, they just shoot the 3 ball so well.
Well, you said, Ron, they were 0 for 4 to start. Now, all of a sudden, they're 10 for 19.
It's insane. Every game I've seen of them, they just shoot it so well.
Jack answers back.
Yeah, Maceo Jack says, I can shoot it just as well, Ron. Keep that noise down.
But the difference is that 3s is better than 2s.
That is true. That is true.
Both teams going back and forth. And that, again, Mitch Clark mixing it up inside, looking for his troops. Jack looking to go back to back. Maceo starting to feel it.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a bit quick there as Cheshire takes another quick shot. Eagles are getting stopped. That's exactly what they wanted. And they're finding themselves in a good spot here.
There's Clark, nearly loses it. Taylor, step back, no look past the long, and Rayshawn Taylor dropping off dimes.
That's a very good pass. I didn't think he saw him. I thought he missed him, but obviously he stands corrected.
That's why it was a no-look pass, Ryan. He ain't gonna give you all the answers.
You're right about that.
Here's Brenchley, ball screen action with White. Bottled up by Long, Rideau, 4 on the clock. Cameron got to make something happen, and that could be an intentional foul on Taylor, as he did grab the jersey. You see Ben Thomas there looking for it, and it's just called a common foul, but I'm in agreement with Ben Thomas there, as I saw a little tug on.
Yeah, our angle there clearly showed him tugging that jersey.
Yeah, that is definitely a no-brainer call there. But Cheshire.
As the fans behind us say they want the shirts tucked in now. They're not buying it.
It's Friday night. You got to dress up, man. You got to smarten up. 13 on the clock. Rideau. Been quiet here tonight, letting the others do it. White, contested Long, gets him stumbling back, and Skylar White putting Cole Long on the dance floor.
That's a tough, tough shot that he is more than capable of making consistently.
Maceo steps back again. Both teams starting to flex their offensive muscle here in the third quarter. Rideau, size advantage inside. Skips it out, Robinson. Not his forte there. And so you don't want to overreact on a closeout from Robinson.
Yeah, and the Eagles did a good job of going down and helping Mitch Clark there, but I think Mitch Clark is fine in that 1v1 situation, if I'm being honest, which caused that rotation to begin with.
I mean, you would almost rather Cheshire hunt mismatches inside because that takes away from the 3-ball.
100%, 100%.
Policelli. This time hit Mitch Clark. On him, what a snag by Hammond, wow.
And this is where the Eagles are at their best. Can they convert? Yes, they can. Good foul.
Maceo Jack. So aggressive here tonight. 16 points.
Quiet 16 as well.
To his name. Of course, when you play an X team, you always want to put on your best outfit, which you ironically get to experience 8 days from now, Ron.
That is true. I'm very excited about that contest. I got Reading on the menu first, though, so I can't overlook anybody in our league. It's a very good league this year, so focus on what's in front of us.
So eat your salad first, your appetizer, before you get to the meat and potatoes.
I don't even think it's meat and potatoes. I think it's dessert. Let me stop. I'm on live air.
Wow. If you heard that, attention to the BCB, as Birmingham has been doing a great job of
Drew's trying to set me up, guys. Drew's trying to set me up.
playing behind the background. Meanwhile, let's turn our focus here where the Newcastle Eagles have clawed themselves back into this one. Down by 1, here's Rideau.
There's a mismatch down there. Good rotation there by Mitch Clark.
And Policelli from the Angel of the North.
I mean, at this point, you might as well run a 3-2 and just let him get everything inside because they're hunting threes.
They are not missing.
But neither are the Eagles, to be fair. This game is really good on both ends of the floor. We talked about that long layoff from the FIBA break, but it seems like both of these teams got reps up.
Policelli getting down to that left hand. Here's Rideau. And here's it from the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd's letting them know about it, but if it's one thing you don't want to do is get Chris Rideau, get that battery going.
You don't want to wake up a sleeping giant.
Yeah, he's been chilling today. You can say it on his body language is giving it away, but nevertheless, Phoenix still up 1 here, 4:41 left.
Eagles with an opportunity, but Mitch Clark just a little bit sloppy with it. Here's Cole Long and Rayshon Taylor takes one to the face. Lindo, terrific in that first pass. Policelli inside, Rideau. And here we go. Get your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke on not waking up a sleeping giant.
Yeah, I think he's getting woke now. He's starting to wake up. His bit of hostility is starting to form.
Nap time is over for this final 14 minutes here.
This is true. As we take another look here, obviously Cole Long takes that 3. I didn't really see too much. I think he got him on the forearm in the chest with the box out.
LaQuincy Rideau will head to the free throw line for 2, where he famously quoted, "We're not the underdogs, we're the top dog," after defeating the London Lions in the, I believe it was the 2023 Cup Finals.
That sounds about right, yeah.
One of the biggest upsets in top flight basketball history, and Rideau was part of that movement, which they had an incredible team, which Maceo Jack was his teammate during that season as well. And it looks as though, Ron, is that we have that same type of animosity building up towards the Cup final here on March 22nd between the London Lions and Manchester Basketball.
100%. The ending of that game was honestly some of the best I've seen. Both of those teams fighting for dear life, obviously knowing that they have to play each other still later this month. But yeah, they set up a good showdown.
Here's Jack.
Good hands.
Runs into a crowd. Cheshire been so active defensively here tonight. Tied up possession arrow points to the Phoenix.
Not sure about that jump ball call there by the ref. Thought they should just let that one play out a little bit.
(71-68) here in Vertu Motors Arena. 3:59 remaining in the third quarter. Both teams going back and forth, showing no separation.
Yeah, and the Eagles want this ball game. They want to build on that previous win against Surrey before the break and try to climb this table as best as they can as we get to this latter stage of the season.
Here's Rideau. Policelli on the ones and twos, directing traffic. Look like they're going to the mismatch. The sleeping giant that we said you don't want to wake, but this time it's Mitch Clark who wins the battle. Here's Jack. Clark, extra pass, corner, Okafor, 3-ball.
That's good, that's great. Great team offense there by the Newcastle Eagles, sharing the basketball, playing in transition, doing what they do best. We got ourselves a tie ball game.
And that's where the Eagles look the best, in my opinion, when there's ball movement.
100%.
Sometimes they get a little bit one-dimensional, relying on their individual talent, but when they share the ball, they show that they can be one of the best teams in the league.
And it makes sense. This is the same team that, however you may look at it, they're down in the standings, but they've already made a final this year. They've already shown they're capable of playing at a high level in this league.
And Mitch Clark causing all kind of issues there inside as Lindo continues to cook.
And that's just unfortunate there.
Lindo having a terrific afternoon. There's your quarter score there. Eagles 21, Cheshire 16. Skip past Okafor. This time decides to go to the step back.
That was a very good shot. Oh, unfortunately, didn't go in.
Rideau on the move. Lindo has had the hot hand all evening. Not this time. Great rebound by Hammond.
Yeah, and the referees are letting them get away with some things here in this third quarter. Both teams are matching each other's physicality.
Okafor looking to go from the opposite corner. Great rebound by Robinson.
Another example right there. You got to get back with him, though.
Wow.
It's too strong.
I literally took my eyes off of him for 2 seconds. He was at the opposite free throw line. I looked there, I blinked, he was in the paint. And we have a technical foul on Hammond.
It might be a double technical. Yeah, it looks like a double technical. Yeah, it's getting chippy in here, Drew. These two teams are playing with a lot of passion right here. A lot of words are being chirped back and forth between one another, and it's a very good ball game. So let's see which team can keep their cool and just go on a run and try to seal this game off.
Well, if you want to blame anyone, I say the Eagles fans are the culprit, because before they booed Rideau, it was quite calm in here.
Yeah, they charged him up.
But as a player, like, you got to love that. Like, you know, over the course of a long season, you're going to have nights where your energy levels might not be there. You might be hurting. But all it takes is one thing to kind of okay, yeah, let's go, let's hoop.
And that's exactly what we saw from Rideau. But let's not take away from the action here. We're sending a very good free throw shooter to the free throw line to knock down 2 free throws in Pat Robinson.
The last time these teams faced, it was Cheshire with a 101-98 win and 199 points scored in that one. And it looks like with 2 minutes left in the third quarter here, we're quite on our way. Here's Taylor. Escapes the pressure.
What a
Dancing with the ball. Taylor, no look to Cole Long. A little bit too much optimistic there. And Lindo travels.
That's a break there for the Eagles, because obviously we just saw Rayshawn Taylor turn the basketball over, but they get a bit lucky there with the Lindo travel. As we take another look here, the steal, and Cheshire's in transition.
Yeah, I'm unsure.
They called a break for sure.
However, I'm sure no one in here is complaining, as Newcastle with an opportunity to sink their teeth into this 4-point lead, and on the floor foul by Robinson, and that's only Cheshire's 4th team foul. So it'll be a baseline out of bounds.
That is his 3rd, team's 4th.
Yeah, so that's honestly not a terrible foul there, making the Eagles take the ball out of bounds here.
Well, that foul was actually called on Policelli. There's Taylor, sees some space, can't find it. Lindo, this time calmly slows it down, but Robinson and Mitch Clark this time gets the call.
So good at that.
Beautiful footwork.
He's so good at that. For all the young kids watching, take notes, man. Look, as he cheers right there, he's excited about that. He loves it. That's what he does. That's what he does.
Well, you don't get too many guys lifting both arms in the air from a defensive play.
He just wants to win. That sums Mitch Clark up right there to a T. Big time play there, getting that charge and getting the possession back for your team.
We got to work on that celebration, though.
Hey, man, maybe it's an Australian thing.
1:10 remaining here in the 3rd. Okafor matched up on Skylar White. Clark spins around, nice. Can't finish it.
And this is what makes Cheshire so, as I was saying that, Eagles are on the run now. Can they convert? Good defense
Blocked there by Diggins. Cheshire doing a great job, specifically Skylar White there on a 103 possession, and this time it's Cameron that goes down, but he doesn't get the call, and Maceo Jack says, you're a little bit too small.
Yeah, that's tough there.
Crouch and defense, Robinson. Lindo's been so lethal this evening, and Damari Lindo continues to add points off the bench. Final 8 seconds, Taylor, 5. Sees a hand up, man down, Rayshawn Taylor. How many times have we seen that?
Honestly, I was thinking the entire possession right there that the Cheshire Phoenix should probably trap the basketball and get the ball out of Rayshawn Taylor's hands, but by the time I thought that through, he had already let it fly. And that's what he does. He makes big-time shots. He's a big-time player.
Well, if you've been following this series over the course of the season, there's no surprise. Money time, 4th quarter. Both teams going back and forth. And we have an incredible 10 minutes remaining. There's your stats there summing up for us, Ron.
I mean, it's a pretty even across the board, except in 1 or 2 categories. But as far as shooting the ball, both teams are shooting the ball very well right now. Over 50% from the field and over 45% from 3 from both teams, or close to that for the Eagles. And then the one category that stands out is the rebound right now. But it's a 1-point basketball game through, and a lot of time left for both teams to leave their imprint on this one if they want to win it.
And the great thing about both teams, you got a player on each side who can bring home the bacon. Robinson with Cheshire, and obviously Rayshawn Taylor with Newcastle Eagles. Chuck a Duck in the building. A common 4th quarter theme here in Newcastle. One game I have yet to be able to conquer.
Yeah, I haven't chucked many ducks. Not a big duck guy. I don't know, something about the ducks.
It's a lot of barriers. It's not straightforward.
It's not. It's very calculated. I would like to go last and just knock somebody's duck out the way, and mine just.
But then, are there too many ducks in the way to get to the bullseye?
That's true. That is true. Yeah, again, it's a complicated game.
Speaking of bullseye, the Cheshire Phoenix have their eyes on second place at 14-10, but there are 4 teams in the league with 10 losses. So again, a win, they keep their foot on the gas in second place. All of a sudden, you lose and you drop down to 6 in the loss column.
That's a scary sight. Being a 2 seed and being a 6 seed are totally different when it comes time to playoff.
Newcastle, meanwhile, 7-14, just trying to shoo away Caledonia, but you would like to move up to 7 because that first round, you don't want to see London there in round number 1.
Yeah, that's definitely not ideal.
Not over a 2-game home and away series. You can get them in 1 game, but it's a very tough team to beat twice as the 4th quarter is underway.
I think Manchester will have something to say about that, as they've already beaten them twice, but hey, I'm just stirring the pot.
Taylor gets into the crease of the defense, hangs, but he's fouled. And he's all of a sudden starting to hit that button. 14 points, quiet tonight to his standards, but he some way, somehow finds a way to fill the stat sheet.
Yeah, he has a great engine. He plays really hard through the course of a game, and again, he's somebody that also picks his spots very well. At least in the second half of the season. He's gotten his feet under him. He's very comfortable here now.
I describe his game as incredibly crafty, and will you describe what that means to, you know, our inexperienced basketball players?
I mean, super quick, can change speeds, can change directions, can shoot the ball from distance, and can also finish at the rim very well. Even though he's not a very tall basketball player, he makes up for with his crafty finishes and his different variety of finishes.
Well, he gives Newcastle the lead as Robinson again blows by Taylor.
The 2000 babies won't know what that means, but that's the road runner again. That's a travel.
It just means really, really fast. It's Maceo Jack. Just a few too many steps there.
Maybe we should call him Sonic. Maybe they'll know Sonic.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Roadrunner for your age, Racky, but Sonic for mine.
But Sonic has to get rings to go faster, whereas the Roadrunner is just consistently fast.
But the rings match the orange.
Good point. As Robinson, again, whatever you want to call him.
He's Sonic for me. He's Roadrunner for you.
He's going to get inside the paint as Cheshire regains the lead. Taylor steps away, this time short.
This looks like it's turning into the Robinson versus Taylor show.
It is. We talked about it coming into this 4th quarter, but there are others for both sides. But Diggins unable to dig out a 3-ball there. 3-point Cheshire lead. With Cheshire, as much as you talk about defense, you do have to keep scoring, as Okafor does just that.
That's a very strong move, underratedly strong move to get Diggins off balance there and finish that.
Here they go back inside where they've seen a steady dosage of this matchup. White, this time he's met by Jack, but just not aggressive enough on the weak side.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously Skylar White's not known for his post-ups, but man, he's still a 6'10" forward that can post up easily.
Jack taking a contact, hanging in the air, and Maceo Jack will head to the free throw line.
What's cool about this contest, it's been pretty much a one possession game for the majority of this second half. We haven't seen the lead really blossom over 5 or 6 points.
Yeah, both teams showing the best version of themselves. Maceo playing against his former team and has really bounced back. Had a 3-game stretch where he was only averaging 6 points a game, 2 free throw attempts over those 3 games, but bounced back with 22 points a game in his last 3. Getting to the free throw line 19 times in those 3 matchups. So has really turned his fortune here. Robinson, I'm sure he likes this matchup. Lindo looking to attack Taylor. Nice crossover, but loses the handle. Great move.
Great move. $1 million move. But, oh, no, he didn't even try to finish it. Can't even use that pundit there.
Nice try. You were antsy. You had it in the bag. You were waiting to pull it out just a little bit too early. Here's Hammond. Looks like he gets bodied up, raises over, and we have a tied ball game here in Newcastle. Robinson does have that aura about him that he's in takeover mode. A lot of high usage, and that's back-to-back turnovers by Lindo.
Yeah, and that's tough there if you're Lindo.
But the way that he's played tonight, you can't be mad at his intention.
100%.
Aggressive turnovers is what you want. You don't want those passive live ball turnovers. But Newcastle with a chance to regain the lead. Lindo matched up on Taylor. Okafor going at Policelli, getting into his chest. Strong finish with the left.
Yeah, just no help side defense there for Policelli, getting beat on a straight line drive. Easy layup there for Gus Okafor.
Robinson.
And they're doing a good job. Great job from the Eagles.
Policelli from the broadcaster's desk.
Hi, Policelli. That's pretty much what he just told us, you know.
Wow.
Super, super deep 3 there. Big time shot to regain the lead.
Taylor going back inside. Okafor has the size matchup on Lindo. Long, stepping back, running out of time. Okafor, and count the bucket. Gus Okafor with an opportunity for a 4-point play.
And that's a tough one if you're Lindo as well. Giving up that 4-point play as the shot clock's winding down. Just want to show a high hand and just contest there.
And Gus Okafor, an underrated 3-point shooter here in the SLB, 40% in the top 10. Has been sneaky good from beyond the arc, and Newcastle with an opportunity for their biggest lead in quite some time. Six minutes. Eagles in a zone. Robinson getting to the teeth. And he is just a magician when it comes to creating contact. Kind of has a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander way of just kind of throwing his body and drawing fouls.
And he always keeps the defenders on their back foot. They're always playing on their heels when they're guarding him because he's so crafty. And his ability, like you just said, to just maneuver in and out of those small spaces to get his shot off is exceptional.
Slippery is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, slippery. This guy gets all the names. Slippery, Sonic.
I used to read my dictionary before bed every night when I was a kid. Robinson with the first.
Did you learn a lot of new words or what? I don't think I've ever read a dictionary before bed.
Robinson locks things up. 88 all. Looks like this game is going into triple digits. Taylor, 16 points to his name. Great extra pass to Hammond. Comes up short. Hammond, this time, comes up short. Back-to-back triples. And man, I'm sure he would like to have that back. Brenchley runs out of space, and Hammond, great defense. And again, Robinson is fouled by Long.
Yeah, as Pat Robinson looks at LaQuincy Rideau and tells him they can't guard me.
He has a point. Not many people in the SLB have guarded him this season, but we will break and catch our breath as both teams with the Michael Irvin 88 all here in the final 6 minutes. And tonight, Ron, the bench for Cheshire has been incredible. 52 points. I actually thought that was a typo. I think your body language gave that off as well.
Yeah, I thought I was misreading that. 52-14 is incredible. And we all know why there's a 14 for the Eagles. They obviously don't have the depth once again, but credit to the Cheshire Phoenix bench for coming ready to play tonight. 52 points is very good.
And Pat Robinson is a nice asset to have come off the bench. You got 3 guys in double figures and Matt Zona flirting with 8 points. So,
yeah, and I think that goes to the strategy, and this is strategy of Ben Thomas. I mean, that's smart. Obviously, he could easily start Robinson, but you don't have that firepower coming off the bench. And he also counts on Robinson late. So just because you don't start doesn't mean you're not going to be one of our closers.
Rideau, Brenchley, Policelli, Zona, and Robinson for Cheshire. On the other end, Long, Taylor, Okafor, Jack, and Hammond for Newcastle. We are in store for a fantastic finish here. Robinson getting downhill, great defense. Met by body, somehow turns it over there.
And that's a big defensive stop there for the Eagles. They obviously threw a little quick trap. Good decision out of the timeout from Coach Stoodle.
There's your score there. Exactly how we started the game. 5 minutes here. Taylor.
Big possession here.
Every foul throughout the quarter will be free throws for Newcastle. Jack hangs, finish.
And that's a big bucket there. Give your team a 2-point lead as we come down the stretch.
Rideau fighting off the double team, and he will be fouled. Eagles with fouls to give, only the 3rd team foul. And Hammond better be careful there.
Yeah, that's his 5th foul. He is gone.
And that is bad news bears for the Eagles. Hammond, 11 points, and his night is over. And that was a foul that was Rideau 35 feet from the basket. You just want to have high hands. Here's Rideau.
That's a lot of space to work with if you're Rideau.
Rideau carefully going inside, aware of drawing the charge on Mitch Clark. Running out of time, 4 seconds, got to make something happen. Can't finish there, ball tipped out. Robinson, top of the key, he misses off, Wild. And we have a jump ball here, and the possession arrow will stay home with Cheshire. Things getting a little chaotic here during that possession. Cheshire with 10 seconds on the clock. Robinson.
Good switch out there by Cole Long.
Only 4 seconds on the clock. Not sure if Cheshire's aware too. Rideau got to let it go. One step inside half court, nips the rim. We play on. Here's Taylor.
And I think Rideau would have preferred air ball in that situation, if you're being quite honest. But they've done a good job of matching up here in transition.
Eagles slowing things down, going to their money man. Taylor, been the closer this year. Here's Jack having a terrific evening, rising up over his former team.
That's a big-time shot there by Maceo Jack.
Maceo Jack with 27 points on the evening. Robinson met by help defender Zona. Stretches it out.
It's a big shot. I mean, these guys are dialed in right now on both teams. one team hits a big shot, the other team responds. There's no blinking in this basketball game right now.
1 point game. Must win for both sides as things are locked up in the SLB. Cole Long with the fading three, and here comes Cheshire. Robinson. Back over to Rideau, looking to go back inside. This time against Taylor. Policelli met by Long. Great defense by Eagles. And again, I mentioned that early. That plays into the Eagles' hands when Cheshire slows it down and goes into the post.
100%, but what happened right there is Policelli has to make that pass out to Zona a lot quicker. He just came down and knocked the three-point shot down, and he already hit 3 on the night. You got to trust your teammate in that situation, even though you had the undersized Rayshawn Taylor on him.
And how about Maceo Jack? You think he played for Cheshire before?
Oh, yeah, he definitely has. I mean, he's had something to prove here tonight. I wouldn't even say something to prove. He just wants to get his team a win more than anything. I think they've already passed that. This is they've already played a multitude of times this season, but it's good to see him having a standout performance here against his former club. 27, though. Wow, I didn't know he had 27. Yeah, he's having a very good night.
Maceo's season high is 28 points against Sheffield back in December, so 1 point off of his season high, career high 34 points against the London Lions in the playoff finals a couple of years ago.
That's a pretty good performance there.
It's a good way to end the season.
100%.
Individually, but obviously you love to walk away with that championship title.
That is true, yeah, definitely.
1 point ball games. If you are just joining us, this game has been back and forth all game, starting with the Eagles and then Cheshire heating up there in the second quarter. And since then, both teams hitting each other with jabs. But who will ultimately throw the knockout punch here in the last 3 minutes? Stay tuned. Jack, who's had the hot hand here as of late. Cole Long lines it up and responds. Great play call out of the timeout for Newcastle.
Cole Long is probably one of the best, if not the best in the league at doing that ghost screen and getting away. Skylar White, on the other hand, also a little bit late in that contest.
And Rideau
Quiets the crowd here.
2 point ball game. Ball back in the hands of Jack. Look like they're going back to this ghost screen with Cole Long. How do Cheshire defend it? Not well. Long with space and back-to-back triples. Cole Long.
I mean, they just literally ran the same play of back-to-back. Cheshire Phoenix defense there not on the same page. And that could be a big part in this game if the Eagles get a stop here.
Well, Robinson muscles and squeezes himself in. Now it's a 3 point ball game. Threes are worth more than twos, and so far on back-to-back possessions, Newcastle with 6 points. Cheshire needing a stop.
And if you're Cheshire right now, you should just switch everything. You have all guards on the floor practically.
Back to the ghost screen. This time is with Maceo. Taylor steps back with space. Can't knock it down. Cheshire gets their stop. 1:30 remaining. Here's Robinson. Sees a double. Cameron left wide open. Way off. You see that leaving his hands. Well, Eagles need to get it across. They only got 2 seconds. Mitch Clark calmly does. Cheshire needing to generate another stop here. Okafor steps in, blocking foul, and that will send Gus to the line.
Yeah, that's the right call. Scala unfortunately couldn't get his feet over there in time. And the referee made the right call in that situation. But 2 free throws to come here for the Eagles. Can they extend this league to 5 here?
He sends Gus Okafor to the line for 2.
Gus Okafor. 12 points off the bench, misses the first. 0 for 2 on the evening from the free throw line, sees a clap from the crowd. Let's see if he can feed off the energy, and he does. Timeout, Cheshire. Timeout, Cheshire. Plenty of time left on the clock run. They will obviously advance the ball. What type of action do you anticipate here?
I mean, they're only down 4 points with a minute left. You got to go to the hot hand right now, which is Pat Robinson. If you're asking me, I'll probably either do a horn set or some type of high ball screen with one of your shooters being either Skylar White or Policelli, who's also on the floor. Put those guys into action, see if you can cause some confusion. If not, let Pat Robinson get downhill with his left hand and finish. Like that, don't you? That was a good set.
That was nice.
Yeah, you can see it. Can you visualize it?
Of course.
Yeah. Maybe even a pin down. Shout out Coach Charles for that.
One thing that Cheshire does like to run is this little pill-off sideline play that ultimately leaves Skylar White open at the top of the key. We've seen it before, but ultimately if they don't, I like the idea of Pat Robinson putting his head down, getting something quick, because you got to assume Newcastle isn't going to want to foul. You just see Coach Stoodle saying, keep your hands up, which tells me don't foul.
Do you foresee Newcastle potentially trapping here?
No, because you leave open a 3. A 2 can't beat you.
That is true.
I just say put your big boy boots on and defend.
That's true.
Even if they go in the post, because that takes time, right? Think about how much time he eats out. Here it is right here. Robinson. They do look to go inside. They got 2 players posting up. Here's Rideau, and he loses it. And Mitch Clark pleading his case. 7 seconds here on the clock.
Eagles have to wake up, though.
Skylar White seeing all kind of bodies. 2 on the clock. Skylar gotta let it go. Running out of time. Blocked by Long, and that will be a shot clock violation. Eagles get that stop. Cheshire, not sure you need the foul here. Play it on. Here's Clark. I don't like that play call by Cheshire out of bounds to call a timeout to go inside to the post.
Yeah, I think they wanted to take advantage of potentially being in closer to the rim and a high advantage. But yeah, you got too many shooters.
I wanted something more dynamic.
Yeah, more spacing on the floor for them in that situation. Maybe they wanted them to help Mitch Clark in that situation on Rideau. They anticipated a collapse of the defense, but if you're smart, you just let them go one-on-one, because like you said, 2s can't beat you.
Yeah, Mitch Clark knocks down the first. Cheshire, only 1 timeout remaining. I think this time they'll play on and play with speed as opposed to operating in the half court.
Intriguing, though. They can get a 3 ball. They'll be just fine right here if they get a 3.
Cheshire down. Here's Robinson, hangs, and he finishes, and that is how you want to get it done. Tipped up. Nearly stolen. And Barstool wisely calls for time as Newcastle playing with fire there on the baseline. Now here's a question for you. 28 seconds. If you're the Eagles, do you advance the ball so you're in a half court, but the shot clock does drop, or do you play it 94 feet and give Cheshire an opportunity to trap in the backcourt?
I feel more comfortable with them taking the ball at half court.
Make Cheshire go down the length of the court in case something, a mistake happens.
Yeah. You want to be away from your basket at all costs, I think. Yeah, I'm going to take the ball at half court for sure. Hopefully I'm right. I'm not a coach yet, so I'm trying to put my coaching hat on, and I think that's the smartest thing to do.
I did hear yet.
Yeah, not yet. It's yet.
I did hear that.
It's yet. It's happening.
I hear that. Okay.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
Okay, well.
I don't cancel out any of the possibilities.
Well, for the Newcastle Eagles, the suspects who you would like to see if you're Cheshire, I mean, there aren't many options. Gus Okafor, 71%. Mitch Clark, 86%. Maceo Jack, 81%. Rayshawn Taylor, 83%.
Cole Long?
Cole Long, 76%. You probably need to get a still.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your best bet, you know. I think they knew that anyway, but we'll just throw that out there. So take a look at some of the numbers this evening. Maceo Jack's had a fantastic game, and honestly, it's been very quiet. 27 points on 77% shooting from the field is incredible. As well as on the other end, on the Cheshire side, obviously, the man himself, Pat Robinson, having himself a day with 22 points.
Well, Eagles do decide to advance. Shot clock at 14. You still need to... And we have a holding foul on Robinson, which will result in one free throw and the ball.
So is that that's not an unsportsmanlike for our viewers. Can you explain that call for us, Drew?
I'm unsure about that, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that call.
Because I thought before that if you hold before the ball's advanced, it is an unsportsmanlike 2 shots in the ball. But, yeah, that's why I'm not a referee, and I'm not saying yet. Definitely not in the cards. Well, Cheshire will send Mitch Clark back to the free throw line. 2 for 2 on his last trip.
And Mitch Clark can wrap this game up here with 2 made free throws.
You can hear the Cheshire Phoenix fans all the way in Cheshire Oaks making noise. But Mitch Clark calmly knocks down the first.
And Mitch Clark's had a fantastic game today. Wanted to see him eclipse that career high, but I think he might actually just tie it right here.
And Newcastle with a foul to give, and Mitch Clark wisely fouling Rideau. Mitch Clark, 17 points, tying a career high in the SLB. Newcastle with 5 guys in double figures. We've seen crazier things happen before. Cheshire again going inside, and here's Mitch Clark again, cutting off Rideau. And Mitch Clark getting it done on both sides, and he was setting Rideau up for that all evening, because as you notice, Rideau was going in carefully early because he understands the matchup in front of him.
100%.
But this time,
and he's lucky it didn't get called, because that was a clear charge, in my opinion. Again, taken by Mitch Clark. But, hey, he's a winner. He wants to win basketball games. And Rayshawn Taylor here is closing this deal out, which sees the Newcastle Eagles go to 3 wins on the year against Cheshire.
Newcastle on the brink of winning the season series with the Phoenix. Phoenix, one last opportunity at Lindo, looking to add to a great night, and that will do it. The Newcastle Eagles, before it's done, with an opportunity to add to Rayshawn Taylor's 17-point night, and that's what a performance by the Newcastle Eagles. A 7-man rotation, fans on their feet, showing their appreciation.
What a big win. Big win. Caledonia next week. But for right now, they're going to enjoy this one. Cole Long has a big smile on his face. Just had a birthday 1 or 2 days ago, so what a good birthday treat.
Newcastle will turn around and make the long trip to Bristol. Meanwhile, Cheshire will head back home, and that's how things will end here in Vertu as the Newcastle Eagles double digits, 108. Cheshire Phoenix, 97. And the Newcastle Eagles slowly crawling up that standings, while the Cheshire Phoenix with 11 losses drop down to 6 in the loss department.
Yeah, that's tough right there, because obviously, like we spoke about earlier in the broadcast, there's a handful of teams right now that are trying to take over that 2nd seed or that 2nd spot. And Cheshire obviously doing them a favor tonight by dropping this game, but still so much to play for in this season.
Ladies and gentlemen, we enter under 10 games for most teams in the SLB. This thing is completely not even close from being solved. A lot of drama on the horizon. Let's take a look at the final stats of the night. Both teams really efficiently from beyond the arc, and Newcastle, as Mark Studel delivers a message to his troops. Mark Studel out of the international break, picking up a huge win at home against one of the most informed teams in SLB.
Yeah, that's a fantastic win there for the Newcastle Eagles, but we're going to take a look at the final game stats. And again, not much disparity across the board. This was a very tightly contested game for 4 quarters, and you can look at the numbers. 50% shooting from both teams across from the field, 43% from both teams from 3. The only category that there's a bit of discrepancy is the Cheshire Phoenix with 41 compared to the 30 to the Newcastle Eagles, but Newcastle battled through that little rebound discrepancy and found a way to pull out an 11-point victory.
Well, the little engine that could, the small ball lineup of the Newcastle Eagles making waves in the SLB as they now see themselves on a 2-game win streak after losing 9 games in all competitions, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Meanwhile, Cheshire snapping their 2-game winning streak in the SLB as they return home. Around the league, you got more heat coming at you. 2 games on the menu for you tomorrow and then Sunday as well. Hoops, we got you covered in the Super League basketball for the remaining month of the season, Ron.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of basketball. It's March, and March just means basketball. As we take a look at the schedule for the weekend, Saturday we see Surrey facing off against the Leicester Riders, as well as followed by the Sharks and the London Lions. Lions will be looking to get back on track there. Bristol Flyers on, then we turn our attention to Sunday. Bristol Flyers versus Newcastle Eagles. And then we have the Caledonian Gladiators face off against the Cheshire Phoenix. So a fun weekend ahead of us. Lots of action and lots at stake.
March Madness in the SLB. I'm Drew Lasker. Alongside me, Ron Blaine, as we say goodnight. Keep your eyes locked in on DAZN for the rest of the SLB action, and we'll see you guys next time.
Super League basketball is leveling up British hoops. This isn't just a league, it's a movement you can feel and see in the stands. From the first tip to the final buzzer, the story is written. Every drive, every shot, and every moment. Rivalries run deeper, games hit harder. One pass, one dunk, everything can shift. Legacies aren't given here, they're earned. New stories are ready, and new champions are coming. Season 2 is here. Stand tall for British basketball.